If prompt engineering becomes a profession, it's because AI failed. If you take a technology and you stretch it to its maximum potential in a technology like AI, there should be no prompt engineering. You should just say things and it will do for you.
Welcome to the 9 to 5 Quitters Club, the podcast uncovering the creator entrepreneurs and leaders at the forefront of a work revolution. Today we're speaking with João Pedro, known as JP, the visionary leader behind the company that acquired Teachable in 2021. In this episode, we discovered JP's journey from creating a market that didn't exist to building a global education technology powerhouse.
I was pretty sure that it did not exist, but I was also pretty sure that eventually not all content would be free on the internet. Eventually, some people would find value in some types of content that would be willing to pay for it.
JP brings a unique global perspective on how AI is transforming online education for creators.
If you use an AI tutor on your learning area, if you use it properly in a way that the student is natural to ask questions and engage, it's just a huge improving the quality of the product. So it should not be ignored.
And make sure to stick around till the end for JP's revolutionary insights on how creators across different markets can build sustainable businesses.
I've seen very few people developing a full portfolio of products. In Brazil, this is becoming more and more common. People know that they should be thinking about 2 or 3 products to offer for their audience.
This episode offers an exclusive look into the mind of an entrepreneur, his forward-thinking approach to AI in education, and his global vision for empowering creators worldwide. Let's dive in, and we hope you enjoy this conversation with JP.
Welcome to Brazil.
Thank you. It is awesome.
When I received the invitation for the event that we just ran here for Teachable, it's a picture of a cougar.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why do we have a picture of a cougar in this invitation? I mean, do people think they're coming to the jungle or anything like that? And then 1 minute later, I was like, actually, there's been a cougar in my backyard in the past 2 years, and I actually filmed a wildcat, like very big one, in my garage where I live. And then I said, oh, okay, actually, it's not just a stereotype. These things actually happen, you know? So, hi, I'm João Pedro Rezende, but it's a long name, so people just call me JP. And I'm the co-founder and CEO of Hotmart company, right? We started Hotmart back in 2011, a long time ago, even before Teachable existed. And over the past 14 years, we've been building this company. In 2020, Hotmart was already a sizable company. We were already a unicorn, and we decided to acquire Teachable. And it was a very interesting process. We had a lot of back and forth with Teachable's founder, Anchor, and the team. We really like the team. We really like the culture. We think that we could take Teachable to their next phase together. And that's what we've been doing so far. And I think this is the first time we fly the entire Teachable team to meet Hotmart beginnings, the biggest office we have in Brazil. So maybe you can see in the camera something down there, but it's a big office in Belo Horizonte where we are right now. But we also have offices in different countries like Mexico, Colombia, Holland, US, Spain. I mean, we're everywhere. As a group, we reach over 65 million customers, shoppers, in over 100 countries. We have shoppers in 188 countries. So yeah, we've been doing a lot. And we're very excited to partner up with Teachable for the past 5 years. We're really excited about the company, and we just want to make sure that Teachable customers get the better value and best product that we can build for them in the coming years, and we think we can do that together.
Yeah. Starting Hotmart, you had to figure out if you were creating a market or finding a market. Why did you think that market even existed?
I was pretty sure that it did not exist, but I was also pretty sure that eventually not all content would be free on the internet. Eventually, some people would find value in some types of content that it would be so much value for them that they would be willing to pay for it. And that's the reason I realized that is because I tried to sell my own content, right, in the beginning. So I had a website, a gaming website. In fact, I had multiple websites online, and I used to do a lot of SEO and content creation with freelancers and things like that. It was something that I really enjoyed doing. It was a hobby, but also a source of income for me. And at some point, I just wanted to sell a guide, a manual on SEO. And that's when I realized, okay, so if I'm trying to sell this PDF, maybe other people want to sell other, downloadable stuff. In the beginning, it was really downloadable materials. And that was the hypothesis. I think that back then we used to have only like free content everywhere on YouTube, on social media, and a lot of blogs back then. Today we don't have as many blogs as we used to have. Content is more all over social media. But that's how it was back then. And I thought that, oh, this is very nice. I mean, but some people will take part of this content and want to sell. That was the hypothesis. Because I wanted to do that, maybe other people would want to. And that's how the original idea was born. I think we started back in the end of 2010. By the end of 2011, we had this MVP going on, and we had a few clients to beta test that. The company was doing almost no revenue, but the minimum revenue that we had then was enough for us to believe in the idea and kind of go all in for it. And from there and on, I mean, it was a lot of challenges, but we made it work. And the fact that people started to use Hotmart and create more digital products and be successful doing that was something that we really wanted to tell the entire world about. And the fact that we were promoting all these success stories, hey guys, this is, that monetization that you get through clicks, that's not the only thing that exists. You can actually create your own stuff and sell. Those stories were starting to create the market because almost no one was trying to do that. Our first investor did not see that or did not believe that we were actually creating the market. And so when they saw that we were doing 300,000 reais, which is like, I don't know, $50,000 per month in GMV, in sales, not in revenue, they thought that was it. This is as far as you can go. This is the market.
Yeah.
And they did not see that, they did not understand very well that we were actually building the market. And that was going to increase a lot as we grew the company, as we taught creators how to do it, as we brought partners to help us teach people how to create their own digital products and online courses and things that they could sell. But it happened. It worked. So here we are.
Building a company is probably the hardest way to solve that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Why? Had you built other companies before? Or
Yeah.
You had. Okay.
A lot of unsuccessful companies before.
That's okay.
One was, I can say, one real company. The other was more like projects. But back in 2004, when I left college, I studied computer science. I mean, I got in college very early with 17 years old, and then I left also very early with 21. And I immediately decided to create a company. I think this is like building things is something that I'm really passionate about. And I think the challenge of building a company is really exciting to me. So really wanted to do that. So back in 2004, we wanted to build this company to create mobile apps. And if you remember very well, in 2004, we didn't even have iPhone.
Yeah.
But I thought that this mobile apps thing would be something important in the future. We could only program apps in Java for a very limited amount of devices from some Siemens and other manufacturers. But well, we were really early on that. I mean, mobile apps became a thing, right? But back then, there were not enough devices that we could build for. So we tried to combine offering with like devices plus the software for multiple different types of companies, but it didn't work. So we had to pivot. We started to do web applications. That went better, but as two computer scientists, we had no marketing and sales skills. So we had the great idea of, you know what, let's bring some partners to do that for us. So we don't need to look for marketing and sales. And the partners were really the wrong partners. It did not work. They had very important character flaws, and so it could never worked. And because of that, the first company died after 2.5 years. So we shut down the company. I leave the company. I have no money, so I have to get a job and start developing a career. And then all these things happening in parallel with the gaming community, the websites, and eventually we got to the place where, oh, I have this new idea. It's going to be called Hotmart, and we're going to help people sell digital products.
Do you think, because I feel a lot in the States like we are still creating the market.
Yeah.
Like it's easy. My LinkedIn feed is filled with creators because that's what I look for. But most people I talk to still don't understand what that is, what that business is like. In Brazil, do you think it's still that way, or is it more understood or more unanimous at this point?
No, I think it's more understood, but it's still, I mean, in Brazil, there are 3.4 million creators.
Mm-hmm.
We have 220 million people. So I think there's a long way to go. And I think with all the current new technology coming out, it would just be easier for people to create better content. So I expect that the number of creators worldwide will increase a lot. So I agree with you that we're still in the beginning, still creating the market. There's a lot of opportunities ahead for current creators working. And now they can do better products. They can engage with people in different ways. But also for someone who's just like, oh, am I too late on this, or is there still time to be a creator? Yes, there is plenty of time.
Yeah, because a lot of people they look like, oh, it's too saturated. The chance already happened.
No, and I think that's a very wrong way to look at it, because one of the things that I realized in the past years is that the competition in creator economy is really not equal to other types of competition. So, for example, let's say that, which is a very popular type of product in Brazil, which is online courses teaching English, for example. Let's say that I want to learn English, and it's not the way it happens on creator economy, on Teachable, on Hotmart. It's not like I'm searching for this. I enter this supermarket of courses, and I list all English courses, and then I pick the one with the lowest price. It's not that purchase process does not happen like that in creator economy. It's more like I find a creator that talks about English teaching, and I know that's the majority of their content, and I engage with that creator, and I kind of identify myself with that creator somehow. I like the way he talks, or I like where he comes from, or I like the way he does things. And I get connected to that. And then at some point, that creator will offer me a paid, more profound, more advanced version of their English teaching content. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not really interested in checking out other 100 different types of English courses that is available online. I want that one, because that's the person I'm connected with. So it's not like I'm buying a camera like this and I get to Amazon and I list all the cameras, and then there are free providers selling the same camera, but this one is like $10 lower. It's not like that. Because in the end, the really unique thing, the really advantage and uniqueness that every product has is the creator behind it and their personality. So that's not replicable. So I'm going to connect with one of these creators that has this personality, this mojo that each creator has quite unique, and I'm going to buy from them, not from, I don't know, the lowest price similar product, you know. So it's very different.
It's almost like it can't be saturated.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by Teachable, the platform that empowers you to share your knowledge, engage deeply with your audience, and earn all on your own terms. Because you are more than your 9-to-5, and Teachable has everything you need to grow the business or side hustle you think about while you're at your day job. You can get started turning your knowledge into a business for free at teachable.com. That's teachable.com, which is also linked in the show notes or description wherever you're watching or listening. Okay, now back to the episode. Part of what I love about this job is learning that business model that creators do and how they continually invent new ways to run a business. Do you have ways in which your understanding of business have been changed by serving creators?
Yeah. I think one of the key lessons that everyone can and should learn with creators is that you can dramatically lower your acquisition cost for any company if you become a creator. In the end, I think every company needs to become a media company, you know, in this new reality.
Yeah.
I don't care what you make. I don't care what you sell. I mean, if you can add to your business a creator component, it's just going to be dramatically affecting your entire acquisition and growth engine. You can do it yourself, you should do it yourself, but you can also partner up with other creators who talk to your audience. And I think this is not ignorable anymore for any type of company. And so in our case, what we do is we are creators ourselves. So in fact,
We're doing it. Yeah.
This is the proof. And we're doing it, but we also partner up with different types of creators to help us talk about the market and how anyone can start building their business, how any creator can develop their business to the next phase, you know, all these things. But it's all revolves around creating content and educating people and all these things. So I think every company should learn that component.
We're in such an interesting time with where AI is, because it's making all this splash, but it's mostly people who are good at using it, telling the rest of the world what it can do, but it's still not that easy to use.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of AI people who are like, look what it did. And I'm like, yeah, because you asked it that. From your perspective, how are you seeing AI's role in the next few years as far as how we learn and teach?
If we're still talking about prompt engineering, it was something that was hyped up in the beginning. There's going to be a lot of prompt engineers, you know, things like that. And I think that if prompt engineering becomes a profession, it's because AI failed. I mean, if you take a technology and you kind of stretch it to its maximum potential, and a technology like AI, there should be no prompt engineering, right? You should just say things and it will do for you.
It understands the context.
Yeah. And I think we're getting there. I think we're getting to that place. And I think that is a huge change that we can expect even for education. So from my perspective, I think a lot of online education today happens based on videos that are static videos that they're paywalled, and you get them and you click and you play and you can watch them and you learn, and that's effective. I mean, you can learn a lot with this. It's good. People will love, independently of which media or how technology changes, people will always love videos. I don't care if you're going to watch with your contact lenses or your screen or your mobile phone, but you'll be watching videos forever. So I think that is a component that is not gonna it's not going away. So we're still gonna have a lot of videos and online courses with videos and things like that. But I think that will serve more as two things. So support material and actually knowledge base for AI. And so you will mostly start your learning path talking with an AI tutor. And this tutor will guide you. Maybe the tutor will say, watch that video on that time to teach you that, and you create exercises for you. And if you don't get your tests right, and say, hey, you know what? Maybe you should rewatch that class. It's on module 6, lesson 3. Watch that video again. So it's going to be much more personalized learning with the tutors, and tutors will point out for materials like videos, for example, or like text, or depending on your taste, right? So I think learning will be much more a two-way process than one way, that the majority of learning process online today is more like one way. I mean, you can engage, you can ask questions on comments and things like that, but we're really going to the next level of dynamic in learning, right? I'm talking about you talking in voice, not necessarily in text, with a tutor that knows everything about your learning because it was trained by the real human expert on that. And it's almost as a replica of that person that you trust. You build identification with that person. You trust that person as an authority. So that person is the real link with reality. That is very important for you to engage in a learning process. But the media, instead of playing a video, will be a lot more the conversational interface with an AI.
I like the way you see that, because it's even, I feel like a lot of AI came out of generating images and like generating text, and still on YouTube, a lot of the how to use AI is how to generate things.
Yeah.
But most of the creators I talk to who are good at making content, they're not impressed.
Yeah.
What they're looking for is like more of that operational, how do I just do my job better so I can focus on making the content? Are you seeing creators who you think have specifically integrated AI into the way their whole business works in the ideal way?
Yeah, I think there are mainly two big applications that almost every creator should be exploring. One is the AI tutor for the students, for example. I think that's really, I mean, we are running some tests in one of our platforms, and the amount of retention that you can get from the student, the shopper, is just so much better if you have an AI tutor. So in one of our tests, we went from a retention of 72% if you use an AI tutor on your learning area. But if you don't use, it goes to 44%. So it's a huge drop. On the 8th week, this difference will be like 14 points in percentage. So it just shows that if you use it properly, if you use it in a way that the learner or the student is natural to ask questions and engage, it's just a huge improving the quality of the product and the education, right? So it should not be ignored. So I think that's one thing. The other one, which is more like the idea of like every student has their own personal teacher, right? That's the replica of the original creator. The other way is a similar concept, and if you're selling something, it could be anything. You need leads, right? And depending on the type of product that you're going to sell, if you're selling education, you have to talk about what you can expect from that education process that you're offering to that person, so the person can imagine how would that look like and what kind of results they will be able to achieve after that transformational education that they're going through. So there is some education about the product you're selling that you have to do. And you can do that with sales videos, you can do that with sales pages, you can do that in many different ways. But if you have one salesperson for each of your leads,
That's a whole different, yeah.
That's very different, right? Imagine that you as a creator, you are generating, 50,000 leads because you're going to launch and you're going to open a new class for your English course. If for each one of the 50,000 leads you have one salesperson that you can talk to anytime and you can answer all questions and you can, oh, you know what? There's this extra content here that I'm going to send you so you can take a look what it really looks like to go through this course. then it's a very different process in terms of sales. And you can expect to increase conversions, and you can expect to increase even satisfaction with the sales process, because you just have full dedicated attention for each lead, right? So I think these two things are really some things that the creator should be looking for.
I love that model because at the base, you're still saying this is trained on the expertise of the person. Do you think it's dangerous for someone who's starting to be or growing as a creator now to immediately turn to AI to generate that library of content that then it's trained on versus, people call it authenticity, but like, how much time do you think you have to spend just developing your own voice, making that content before you're ready to implement these tools?
Yeah, I think you need to have something to learn to teach, right? And I think people get overly scared that AI will replace creators. I mean, just look at let's look at, I don't know, 200 years ago. Okay, 200 years ago, if I want to create content to teach someone, what I could do is I could write a book, right? That is the format that people learn. There are books. Someone sits down, writes a book, and give you the book. And then you fast forward, that book became, I don't know, maybe a TV program, right? So now that experience, everything that person lived, 15 years of experience, 10 years of experience, or 2 years of something really crazy that was transformational, you can now package that into a video and send to a TV station, and maybe if they approve, you get a chance to display that to the world. Then fast forward, there's this huge media disruption. Now everyone has their own TV station, their own broadcast radio station, or their own publisher, right? Or if you're a blog, you're doing YouTube, or if you're doing podcasts, I mean, you control the channels. And now you learn from that. So AI is actually a different type of book, a book you can talk to, right? But behind that, there's a real person. I mean, I don't want to learn things that I want to implement in my life that was never
like tested
by a real person. I mean, so I think that the real person behind every educational process is very, very important. I mean, it's not important to share information, but you can share information dependently of who is behind it. But if you're looking at, you're modeling someone that, oh, I want to be a professional like that one, then you need that one. You need that person, to connect to and to learn through their mistakes and their successes and things like that. You're just going to do that in a different media now. It's a different media that person is using. That is not a book. It's an AI conversational tutor trained in everything that person supposedly knows. Maybe not everything, but a lot of that, what that person knows. So I think it's all about format change. I think creators will always have a place. I do think that there will be a lot more creators who are not in front of the camera as well, but more like behind. But there's still the person and the creators building this stuff. So I'll give you just an example. If you're a creative person, maybe you can create a fictional story, and you can, I don't know, like The Lion King, for example, right? The Lion King. It's not real people, it's animation, but behind there's a lot of real people working and thinking about their ideas and the storytelling, and you watch the movie, you know it's not real lions and real people, but you maybe can still get emotions out of that, right? Yeah. So yes, you can have creators creating more content that's not they're not front-facing it, but there's still the creativity component, the real person behind, and I don't think that's going to change. I think the success of many of these products is really to present themselves and to make sure that the person realizes that there's a real person behind that has been through all those problems and have figured out solutions. And I think this is the most valuable products that we're still going to see for many years to come. What what I say a lot of times is that the best teacher is the one who is doing what they're teaching. The second best teacher is the one that used to do what they teach, and all the others come later. The rest of the teachers will come in third place. So I think this is not going to change. I mean, I'd rather learn with someone who's been there.
As a CEO of a company that's implementing a lot of these things, how are you using AI just in your daily life?
Oh, I love it. I use a lot. I even mentioned on last session we had. I mean, I prefer some more than others. I mean, I like ChatGPT. I use a lot to summarize things. So one of the things that I like to is I get a lot of these peer review feedbacks that from my people, and since it's a lot, I like sometimes to summarize them. I gather feedback from like 8 people, and I summarize them to get the key points and things like that, so I can prepare feedbacks in a better way for each person in my team. I like them for understanding big types of content. So, for example, there's a 4-hour podcast that I don't have time to watch. Maybe I can put that on Google Notebook LM, and it can let me summarize, and I can ask questions about that podcast, and it will answer me. So it's a great tool for understanding, a great tool for summarizing. I don't use it a lot to create. I actually used a lot to experiment with Midjourney, building the images. I did some of that and I create like personalized books for my 3 daughters. So they love it.
Yeah.
That's fun. But I use it more. Today I'm using more to summarize things and also to help me understand like long format contents that maybe I get a report from one of the banks about a specific market, and there's like 300 pages, and I say, okay, I don't have time to read 300 pages. I need to know that by tomorrow. Maybe it will help me summarize and understand some of that. So I like these 2 use cases a lot. I use them a lot. But I think you're going to see a lot more stuff. And for some things, AI is just really not good yet. But the other cases like summarization and helping you understand, it's very, very helpful.
You've seen so many different ways of running a creator business, and I still feel like there's no proven playbook across industries. All successful creators talk about burning out or just being constantly making content. Do you think you've seen the ideal creator business, or are we still figuring that out? Because we're trying to also educate our creators. Like, that's a vantage point for us. We see all of these people. What is the best way to do it?
Yeah, I think ideal is relative to what you want to accomplish. So
let's say live a good life.
Yeah, live a good life. I think what a lot of creators should do more is to have more products. When I look at all the data and I see all the creators who are thriving and being successful, they're doing some things, right? So they're constantly improving and increasing their audience. They're constantly gathering more followers and improving their content quality and things like that. So this is one. But the other thing is that they do not count on just one product. If I look at the creators with the highest growth rates, they have multiple products. They have products of different prices, from very cheap ones to high ticket ones. They have products in different formats, like online courses, but also like live in-person events. And I think as creators grow their business, this becomes more of a necessity. Otherwise, you just get stuck. And today, if you can design your business considering like a portfolio of products that you can serve your audience from different price ranges and types of delivery, I think that is close to what an ideal business model for a creator who is trying to do education and trying to sell their own products should look like.
If I was a creator, I would get scared of that because then I have to market all of those products.
Yeah.
Like, how are those creators effectively marketing a library of products?
Yeah, it's not necessarily a library. It's all products are kind of interconnected in some ways. It just goes to one level deeper, or you actually increase your access to the creator. So maybe an ebook is more distant, but then when you get into an online course, you have more contact because you have comments and you can engage. Then you can go to live in-person events, and some creators even do like really high ticket products, more like one-on-one sessions and coaching, with people. So I think that the way they market is really by building their own audience initially, and then upselling to the current shoppers, because these are the people who are already interested in their next products, right? So it sounds like a big effort, but in the end, it's kind of the same funnel. It's like I build free content, people understand that I'm an authority and I understand what I'm talking about. They like what I do, so they start to follow and engage with my content. At some point, I offer them one of my products. They have the chance to buy that. If they buy and they're happy, they will want more stuff. And then here is the next 2 or 3 offers that I have for them. So it sounds like a lot, but it's actually a natural process of the shopper gaining awareness of what else you can do for them than really like hard marketing, things like that.
If you were to quit to be a full-time creator right now, what would be your approach? Like, are you going for making long form content? Are you going short form content? I know it's very personal. You have to like what you're going to do, but knowing what you know, what do you think the best opportunity is to build that business?
Well, I guess, again, it depends on your niche and what you want to accomplish. If I was going to become a creator now and build my own education products, it would probably be around startups, talking to other entrepreneurs who are just starting and, helping them grow their startups and, raise money and build products and, create good MVPs and things like that. So I would probably start with an online course with a tutor, very well trained, so they can engage with that. And from there, I would probably understand with my shoppers what is the next thing that they want from me, and I would build accordingly. Which is how you should build your own startup.
Yeah.
But I think like people sometimes spend too much time trying to figure the perfect product, and they should just ask their audience and try to put out something and see how it goes. And then after you put out that, you're gonna get a lot of feedback and you can improve your product or you can change your product to something else, right? And if you try to plan a lot how that's gonna look like, you almost always will not, you'll get stuck. You're not gonna move forward. So I would encourage people to just get started, build their own first product, and get a lot of feedback from their customers.
Yeah, everyone is very good at marketing the mindset and the inspiration. Just get started, start posting. You can do it, and that's super valuable. That's how this whole economy grows. But very few people are giving tactile advice for the next step. What's your advice for someone in that position? Like, how do I make this my job?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, if you want to grow a company, you need to last in time, right? So growing takes time. Becoming sizable and a great company will take you years. And if you want to last years in business, you need very good products, right? So what I'm trying to say is that if you only focus on the marketing and not on the product side and improving quality and customer care and making sure that all these shoppers are fully satisfied in their the majority of them are fully satisfied, you're not going to get anywhere. So instead of just focusing on marketing, make sure that you have a great product and you're supporting your customers on their journey consuming your product, and that's the first step to build a business. I guess the other one is really trying to figure out like what is the next needs that your shopper will expect from you, and that you can provide them support with in terms of new products, new offerings, maybe new services that you can design for them. And I think selling to the same shoppers becomes a thing as you grow the business. But you cannot do that if the first shoppers are not satisfied with the product. So it's not really good if you sell a lot and people are unhappy. You may make some money, but you're going to die very, very soon in business. So thinking about how you can improve your products constantly, reinvest the money in the business, make sure that the quality is improving, the customers are happier and happier, is crucial for building your business for many years, which is what it's going to take if you want to be big.
What do you think American creators can learn from Brazilian creators?
Yeah, it's funny because I think Brazil and US, they are very similar market, and they're very similar how can I say, level of sophistication in creator economy. I think what a lot of Americans maybe they should reconsider is actually develop the full portfolio of products. I've seen very few people developing a full portfolio of products. In Brazil, this is becoming more and more common. People start here, they know that they should be thinking about 2 or 3 products to offer for their audience. And sometimes I see creators in the US because you have more monetization possibilities there, and maybe because the monetization with clicks is better than in Brazil, then people maybe they stop too early in thinking about their next products and improving their product portfolio. I would probably say that, but I think Brazil and US are very similar in terms of market maturity for creators who work with Teachable or with Hotmart in Latin America. And I think Latin America is a bit behind in terms of market sophistication and maturity, maybe a few years behind, but they're getting there too. But US and Brazil is actually very similar.
I love that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share with our audience before we wrap up today?
No, so I just want to thank you for the opportunity to talk to Teachable's audience directly. Yeah. I hope this is helpful.
Thank you so much, JP.
Thank you.
Cheers. JP is a great example of how leadership in the AI and creator economy space can transform education globally. His unique perspective on technology's role in learning, from his early bet that people would pay for valuable online content to his cutting-edge thoughts on AI now, shows why Hotmart and Teachable are uniquely positioned to help the creators at the forefront of the digital education revolution. If you want to join the thousands of other creative entrepreneurs who are building an income out of their impact, click the link in the description to join the club and learn how Teachable can help you do the same. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our recommended next episode linked here. Thanks for being here. We'll catch you in the next one.